Great morning, everyone. Great morning, great morning. Come on in. Come on in, come on in. Listen, while you guys are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and share. Hey, let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Great morning, Mike. Oh, no. Oh, you got video today. Listen, Linda, listen. Great morning, great morning, great morning. You guys come on in. I'm excited about this word today. So, hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. Let me see what's going on. Let me get folks in. You guys go ahead and share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. And once you've shared, let me know that you've shared. Let's get some folks on the line. Okay. Right, Mike. Finally. Listen. The enemy stays busy, but guess what? We win. We know the end of the story. No matter how busy the enemy is, he's not busier than God. His busyness has nothing to do with the power that God possesses and God's ability to transform anything and any situation. So I'm excited about this word, and I'm excited about this word for several reasons. When God began to speak to me about passing the test, this morning I gave a word on 40 days in his face, and I was talking about how God is calling us higher. He's calling us more than just routine fast. He's calling us to really do what it is that he wants us and desires for us to do. If we're going to fast, he wants us to fast the way we're supposed to fast and not in the way that, we go through the form and the fashion of the fast without the power of the fast. Great morning, April. Thank you for sharing. So, when I was putting up the drive-by, he said, pass the test. Listen, let me tell y'all something. He can give us all the answers to the test and we still fail. How do you fail the test when you got all the answers? You just were given all the answers and you still fail the test. How does that even happen? Hey, Corey, great morning. Hey, Boo, great morning, Mr. Johnson. How you doing? Ooh, the countdown is on. Today is Wednesday. Then we've got Thursday, Friday, and dun 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 dun. D-Day, the day that we say I do. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that. And listen, speaking of passing the test. Speaking of passing the test. Um when God brings a test before us, it's never with the intention of tripping us up. It's never his desire to show you who you're not. It's always to afford you the opportunity to see what's inside of you. Hey, Antoine, great morning. How are you? Good to see you. It's always designed to show you what's in you, what you're capable of, what you can do. So check this out. God has been dealing with us on our heart. I told you February was a month that was about love. It's about love. And not just romantic love, but God love. And God love is incredible. It's patient. Matter of fact, let me tell y'all what love is. Let me just go back over this because I just want to give y'all a refresher and a reminder of what love is. Hold on. Let me pull the text up. All right. All right. So in First Corinthians chapter 13, 13, it talks about love. It's called the love chapter, right? The love chapter, chapter of love, right? And it starts out like this. And it says, if I could speak all the languages of earth and angels, but didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I understood all of God's secrets plans and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith that I could move mountains but didn't love others, I would be nothing. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing. Love is patient and kind. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. That's love. So given that that's love, it's great that I can prophesy. But if I prophesy and I don't love, I'm just making sounds. It's great when you can understand the Greek and the Hebrew, but if you do all of that and exegete the text, if you do all of that and have not love, it's nothing. If I understand all of the secret plans of God and the mysteries of God, but have not love, it's nothing. If I give everything I have to the poor and even sacrifice my body, make myself a living sacrifice, but I do not love others, I wasted my time. It's time for us to really understand what love is. Our conception of love is very transactional. It's very much about you love me if you do this. You love me if you do that. If you don't do those things, then you must not love me. Now, listen, I get it. I get it. When we talk about showing love versus just saying that you love someone, right? But love is not just in the doing, love is in the being. Can you be love in my life? Can you be patient and kind? Can you be there for me, even when I get it wrong? Not to judge me, not to say, aha, I told you so, but to encourage me and say, babe, it's okay. You'll get it. It's all right. It's not the end of the world when I feel like it is. I do know why God's had me talking about love so much because He told me February is a month of love. See, we want to think about the romantic love. We want to think about lingerie and candy and flowers and all of that stuff. But if you do all that stuff on February the 14th, but the rest of the year you don't have no love, you're not patient, you're not kind, keep it. Keep that. I don't want one day love. I want love 365 days of the year. And that love doesn't necessarily come with stuff. If stuff comes, that's great, but it's not about the stuff. It's about the intangible things. It's about the small things. Even in friendship, right? In friendship, when you love your friend, you protect your friends, right? You're honest with them, even if that honesty makes them uncomfortable. You got to understand that love is not just about agreeing with everything you say or going everywhere you want to go. It's not about that. Love is about really being who God has called you to be in a person's life. What is your role? What is your position? What is your assignment? If you're not operating in your assignment in a person's life, what are you doing? Oh, you want to make them just feel good. But if you make them feel good, but you're not in your assignment and they're not in theirs, what are you doing? You're delaying, you're holding up, and you're sabotaging without even realizing that you're sabotaging. See, we think that sabotage is just something that we do when we don't care about people. But do you know that we sabotage people that we love in the name of love because we say we love them? Well, what do you mean, Dr. V? Well, let me tell you what I mean. Let me tell you what I mean. You know, somebody needs to be held accountable for something, but you don't hold them accountable. You make excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. I'm not talking about judging them. I'm talking about accountability. Accountability and judgment are not the same. Judgment places a value on something. It says it's good or bad, you're good or bad, you're right or wrong. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about accountability. Accountability is, did you do what you said you were going to do? Are you moving in the direction you said you want to go? Are you addressing the things that you need to address? Now, it's not my job to dictate to you what you need to address. It's not my job to dictate to you how you're supposed to take your journey. That's not my job, right? But if you tell me that this is what you want to do, and we say that we are accountability partners, we're holding each other accountable, and I don't hold you accountable, I'm sabotaging you. I'm sabotaging you by sitting back and watching you sabotage yourself. I'm sabotaging you. I'm participating. I'm an active participant in your own demise. It's one of the many reasons that, I tell people, listen, if you don't want to know the truth, don't ask me. Don't ask me. If you don't want to hear the truth, don't ask me. Now, you can tell me what you're getting ready to do all day, and I'm going to sit there unless the Lord say something. And if the Lord say something, I'm going to say something. But other than that, just volunteering, telling people what they need to be. No, you need to do this. No, I've done that. I'm through with that, babe. Because what? What does it do? It creates anger and it creates resentment because you were not asked. You weren't asked for your opinion. You weren't asked for your thoughts. You weren't asked. And now, instead of positioning yourself so that the person could ask you and give you permission, you've overstepped your bounds. And now they're looking at you some type of way. I don't have time. I don't have time. Nor do I have time to cast my pearls before swine. Like, what I say is valuable. You don't want it, that's your prerogative. I'm not getting ready to waste my breath trying to give something to somebody that don't want it, for them to reject it, and then for me to end up feeling some type of way. Why? I just set my own self up. Why am I going to set my own self up? For what? No. I'm going to mind my business unless the Lord say something. Now, if the Lord say something, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something. But I'm going to say what the Lord say, not what I want to say. And I'm going to be real clear. God said. They can take it or not take it, accept it or not accept it, believe it or not believe it. It's not my business. It's my business to do what God says. It's my business to say what God says when God says it to who he tells me to say it to. After I've done that, I'm done. I'm done. You know what our problem is, especially if you carry a prophetic calling on your life. You want to carry the prophecy all the way through completion. It's not yours to carry. It's your job to release the prophetic word. Any prophetic instructions that you've been given by God, that's it. It's their job. It's between them and God. What happens with it after that? It's their business. If you give somebody a warning, it's your job to give them the warning. It's not your job to police them. Stop policing people. Well, you know you shouldn't do that because God said that he was going to da 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 da. That ain't your job. It's not. And it can turn into manipulation and witchcraft. Leave it there. I'm just sharing some stuff I had to learn the hard way. Okay. I'm just sharing some stuff that I had to learn the hard way, the very hard way, the very, very, very hard way. It cost me relationships. It caused me to be misunderstood. Listen, I don't have time for it. Angel number 144. I don't have time for it. I'm not interested in that. I only want to do what it is that God has for me to do. That's it. That's it. Y'all stop trying to control, navigate, dictate, correct people that are not, that's not your assignment in their life. It's not your assignment. Yes, you have a role to play in their life. That's not it. And then you end up frustrated because they not listening, because you not they mama, you not they daddy. Stop trying to be a mama and a daddy to grown people. They grown. Grown people got to do what they got to do. They got to go through what they got to go through. They grown. You can't re-raise them. They're grown. Just like nobody can re-raise you. You're grown. Let grown people be grown people, held accountable for their own choices and actions. Let them figure it out. You can't always give them the solution. Let them figure it out. There's something that happens when people understand that they have the ability to solve problems in their own lives. It empowers them. Otherwise, they're always dependent on somebody else for the solution. You know where we mess up with our children? A lot of times as parents, we are so busy being authoritarian. Do as I say because I said it. If I say do it, you say how high. If I say jump, you say how high. What? You got to pay attention to what's going on. Angel number 144 brings a message from your angels that you are to look to new ways to go about getting your work done more efficiently. Listen to your intuition as your angels are ushering positive energies towards and around you. Angel number 144 is a message to keep your thoughts positive and optimistic as you undertake an important new role or venture. Your positive energies, intentions, and actions will manifest your expected results. Trust your angels to deliver all that you'll need. Thank you, Lorianne. Thank you, Boo, for putting that up there. There's another way that you can do this thing called life. Like one that is less frustrating. One that does not have you in a place where you're always trying to figure things out for everybody else. One that allows adults to be adults and make decisions in their life. So I told you that I believe that we do our children a disservice when we're authoritarian and we say, do as I say. And the reason I think we do them a disservice is because they get trained to just do as someone says, but not to think. Not to think. They don't think. They don't develop their thinking skills, their thinking muscles. If you want them to develop their thinking muscles, you've got to give them some room to make some decisions, whether those decisions are good or bad, whether they turn out well or not as well. Like you got to then teach them how to find the gift in every decision that they make, even if the decision results in something that they didn't like. What is the gift in it? Train them in that. Teach them how to find the gift. And then when you do that, they are less likely to find themselves in a place where they just want to die. They don't want to live because things didn't go the way that they wanted them to or expected them to. Listen, you give them some tools to deal with the fact that the only thing constant in life is change. You give them some tools, you're equipping them. You're teaching them how to tap into their creative mind, their God mind to figure things out. Teach them how to listen to the Spirit of God. Well, what did God say about it? Ask God and see what he says. and allowing them to develop their own personal relationship with God. No, you beat them in the head and you say, well, the word of God says. I'm not telling you don't provide guidance, but what I'm telling you is we are raising mindless people. Mindless. They don't know how to think. They're always waiting for someone to tell them what to do next. They never build up their confidence. One thing people can say about my kids is they confident. They listen, their decision might not be the best decision, but baby, they confident in their ability to make a decision because I've allowed them to do that. Now that I did. I allowed them to make some decisions. I had to learn it though. I had to learn it. I had to learn it. I had to learn it because initially, oh no, you just do what I tell you to do. If I say jump, say how high. Don't be asking me no questions. Why are you asking me questions? Just do what I said. If I said you can't do it, you can't do it. Don't ask me why you can't do it because I said you can't. That's why. Well, so and so's parents, y'all know what comes next. So and so's parents is letting them do it. I'm not so and so's parents, and you're not so and so's child. If so and so's parents tell them they can jump off the bridge, you're gonna jump off the bridge with them. But I had to realize something that you have to give kids the opportunity to make decisions that don't negatively impact their entire life so they can develop confidence in their ability to make decisions. Otherwise, they'll spend their life indecisive. Have you ever met an indecisive adult? Like they don't know anything. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want to eat. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. 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 I get sick of it. I'm just talking about me. I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about me. I need you to be able to make a decision. But then I have times when I'm like that, when I'm the indecisive person, when I'm the one that is struggling to make a decision, struggling to make a basic decision. Like, I don't know. Like, why don't you know? Are you afraid you're going to make a wrong decision? Or is it just not that important to you to make a decision? See, you need to dig deeper when you find yourself in the place where you're saying, I don't know. I don't know. Why don't you know? What's going on with you? What is it rooted in? I know. I always say, what is it rooted in, right? I always say, what is it rooted in? You know why? Because everything is always rooted in something. Nothing is just, we say, oh, it's not, there's no reason. I just don't know. There's always a reason. There's always a reason. I do this quiz with my classes where I ask them questions about me. How old am I? Am I married or single? Do I have any children? If so, how many? Like I ask them questions that they really don't have no way of knowing the answer to. But guess what? Most of the time they come up with an answer. And those who say, well, I don't know. I have no way of knowing that. Baby, you made a decision about that when I asked the question. Or you make no decision because you're afraid to make decisions or to admit that you do that you make decisions without the information. So they would give me their answer and I would say, well, why did you say that? No reason. I just said it. Nah, dig deeper. There's always a reason. What is it about me that suggests that? Is it how I dress? Is it, how I communicate, how I show up? What is it? It's something. What is it? And they're like, well, and then the truth comes out. And the truth is that they've made these judgments about me based on their beliefs and perceptions of how people show up, right? So it would be funny to me when people would say, well, you just seem single. Why do I seem single? Well, you just seem like, a no nonsense type of person, the type of person that you're not dealing with a bunch of a man's bull crap. Okay. Others would say, you seem like you're married because, you just have a very settled, you seem like you're very settled, you seem like you're about business. And it would be funny because sometimes they would say the exact same things and say something different. So the people that said I was single, and they listed these reasons. And people said that they thought I was married, said I was married, and they listed the same reasons, right? Because we interpret things differently. See, the truth of the matter is when we meet people, when we see people, we immediately begin to make assumptions about them. Now, we may not want to admit that we make assumptions about them, but we do. And people make assumptions about us. It's what happens. We, as human beings, use our mental resources to try to help us categorize and deal with what's going on in the world around us. So that when we meet people, we don't meet them with a blank slate. We meet them based on how they're dressed, how they look. Are they smiling or not smiling? Do they seem approachable or non approachable? We began to make assumptions about them. And then from there, this is where the problem comes. The problem is not that you make some initial assumptions, right? Because you know that that's our information processing path. Okay. The problem is when you don't allow those assumptions to change based on new information. Now you got new information. Now you know facts, but you're stuck in the same story because of the assumptions that you made. You got to have more fluidity than that. You got to be able to adjust your understandings, interpretations, and expectations of people based on new information. My baby said 3 days, that question will be no more. I'll be married. I'll be Mrs. Timothy Johnson. Yes, I will. Thank you, Antoine. I appreciate that. Thank you. So listen, listen. Pass the test. What does the test look like for you? I can't tell you what the test is going to be for you today, but I promise you you're going to have some. And the question is, will you pass them? I would wager that your test is going to have something to do with love, something to do with perceptions, something to do with the things that we're talking about right now. That would be my guess. If I were a betting woman, I would wager on it. So God wants you to know the test is coming. Pass it. Pass the test. You can. You got everything you need to pass it. The question is, will you use what you have? Or will you simply act like you don't know? I don't know. This is not the season for that. It's not the season. I'm going to tell y'all something. And I want y'all to mark this day. What's today? February 8th, 2/8, 2023. 8 is the number of new beginnings. God is trying to give you some new beginnings, some new perspectives. Accept it. What do we talk about? Angel number 144. You're about to embark on a new adventure, new venture, new experience. Something new is coming. The test is, will you deal with the new the way you dealt with the old? Or will you pass the test and adjust with new information? You should be a different person today than you were yesterday because you've gained new information in the world, some new information about you that gives you an opportunity to handle things differently. Yesterday, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little stressed. I was a little stressed. We had some major financial stuff going on, and I'm like, oh my God, what in the world, God? How is this going to happen? And I had been avoiding dealing with some stuff, right? Like the numbers, because I was like, oh my God, I don't even want to think about how much this is costing. I don't want to think about, where the money is coming from. I don't want to think about it. And yesterday, God kind of checked me. He said, you've been avoiding. And I need you not to avoid. I need you to face things head on. I need you to write the numbers down. I need you to do the math. And then I need you to make your request known. I need you to tell me what you need. Tell me what you need. Don't worry about how I do it. You just tell me what you need. I said, okay, God, here we go. Woo. These numbers. And God began to supply. I told you this wedding is creatively financed. We're using creative financing with this wedding. It's blowing my mind how God is doing it, but God is doing it. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't happen when I want it to happen. What matters is that God has a plan, and He's not going to allow this not to manifest. And listen, I need you to understand, we're not doing anything outrageous or super over the top with our wedding. We're not trying to spend, $20,000 on a wedding. That's not us. That's not us. It's not even how we roll. But God is going to give us a wedding that looks like it's a $20,000, $30,000 wedding. He's definitely going to do that. But we have to also look at numbers. That's for me. That's not for my baby. That's for me. Okay. So God said, look at the numbers, add stuff up, do the math so that you know what you need, so that when it shows up, you'll know that your need has been met. I don't know who this is for. I don't know what it is that you're not looking at, what it is that you've been avoiding, but look at it. Be honest with yourself. Figure out what you need. It may not be money. It may be about resources. It may be about help. It may be about like what emotional support. It can be anything, but be honest about what you mean, about what you need. Write it down. Look at it. Stare it in the face. And then make your request made known to God. Our daddy, his great pleasure is meeting our needs. It's being there for us. It's helping to provide. But when we don't know what we need, how can we know when we've gotten it? We don't. It's time to be honest with yourself. What do you need? What do you desire? What is that your heart craves? Tell God. He already knows, right? Be honest about you and where you are so that God can show you what needs to happen for you to get what you desire. When I finally could get real with me about what was going on with me, then God could send me what I needed and what I wanted. As long as I didn't know, like I'm not telling you, like when it comes to relationships, to write a list. I'm not telling you that. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is get clear about what it is that you want and need. And then watch God show up. Yes, baby. We got to remind him. Not that he needs a reminder, but it's our opportunity to go to our daddy and say, Daddy, this is what I need. This is what I want. And he said, okay, okay. Hey, Kim. Hey, Sheila. So let me tell you what I need. Y'all ready? Listen, if you have been blessed by my ministry, blessed by my lives, blessed by a prophetic word, if you have been blessed in any shape, form, or fashion by what I do here, like what I just did today, if you've been blessed in any shape, form, or fashion, this is what I need you to do. I need you to sow a seed into me. I'm not going to tell you an amount. You let God tell you the amount, but I am going to challenge you to sow a seed into me. Why? I'm not asking you to pay me for anything that I've done, but sow a seed into me. Sow a seed into me. Be a tool that God uses to meet my need. Not because you want another prophetic word, because you'll get that anyway. Not because you want me to do another live, because I'll do that anyway. But because you've been blessed. Now bless back. Not in a transactional way, because I don't want y'all to think it's transactional. That's not what I'm saying. So often we take, 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 take. And we think that the people that we take from have no need. I have a need. I'm articulating that need. Now, whether you choose to allow God to use you to meet that need or not, it's totally up to you. There's no judgment. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to feel no type of way about you. None of that. None of that. But I believe that there are some of you who will respond to my need. I believe that. I believe that God has already conditioned your heart, prepared your heart, already put it in your spirit that you want to bless me, right? That you want to be a blessing in my life. And this is an opportunity to do it. So to do it, you simply go to Cash App, $DRV Walters, Cash App, $DRV Walters, or PayPal.me/DRV Walters. However you choose to bless me, I'm good. Kim said, you are good ground, Dr. V. I'm just saying, y'all, I am. I am. Because I'm obedient to God. That's what makes me good ground. I'm obedient to God. I'm going to do what God says do. Say what God says say when God says it. I pray that this word has blessed you. I pray that you got something out of it. I pray that you were encouraged, inspired, and empowered to run on and see what the end is going to be. But most importantly, that you were encouraged to pass your test. Will you pass? I believe in you. I think you will. But what do you think? What do you believe? Corey said, we have not. The word says we have not because we ask not. You should ask. Absolutely. Lorianne said, yes, that harvest does have a return. Listen, listen. Anytime I talk about a seed, I'm talking about a seed because I've watched what people sowing seed in my life has done in their life. I've watched how it's turned things around. I watched how it's opened doors. I watched how it has given them favor. I watched how they've gotten jobs and salary increases and new opportunities. And I've watched businesses flourish. I've watched all of this. I've watched people get clear. I watched people produce their books. I watched all of these things that came because they sowed a seed. April said, I'm a witness. All of those things, right? So when I talk about a seed, yeah, the seed meets a need for me, but really, it's my opportunity to give you a chance for God to bless you. There's something that He's trying to get in your hands, and it requires a seed released in order for Him to release the harvest. So don't miss your harvest. Don't miss your opportunity to sow a seed and see the manifestation of the things that you've been asking God for. I believe God for things that look impossible, things that seem absolutely impossible. They seem crazy. They seem insane. But because I am a seed sower and I sow regularly, right, into the lives of other people, God consistently breathes on me, breathes on my ideas, my dreams, my desires. Yes, baby, nothing will grow without a seed. I'm going to tell you guys this. You'll understand when you see our wedding how God took our union and breathed on it and turned it into this magnificent experience. Because that's what it's going to be, an experience for people. When I walk through the door and you see me in my gown, y'all are going to be like, oh my God. Only God could do the things that are happening right now. And that means that if you need some only God happening in your life, seed sown into me, into us, into our marriage, is going to produce that in your life. Get ready for God to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you could think or ask, according to His riches in glory. Listen, God wants to do it, but you need to put something in the ground. April said, I'm ready to be there and see it for myself. Y'all, this is going to be beyond words. An only God seed. Only God. Like, only God could do that. Like when it happens, you be like, only God. I've been watching stuff happen. I'm like, only God. Only God. Only God could do that. Only God. Literally, God is getting ready to blow. Listen, it's simple things, right? So this morning, I was like, okay, I need to go and get a wax, right? So I find it on Groupon. It's dollars. What? Only God. Only God could have done that, because regularly it's like $54 or something like that. Only God. See, when you understand that those only God moments can be an everyday occurrence, you start. I walk in expectation of only God. That's my expectation. Oh, I can't wait to see what only God can do today. I can't wait to see what only God can do today. I can't wait to see what only God can do today. And watch when God does it. Watch. You'll see it. You'll see it. So get your only God seed together and sow it at Cash App $DRV Walters or PayPal.me/DRV Walters and watch what God does. Look, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an absolutely amazing, incredible, and epic day. Be blessed. Mwah.